centuries of power.
It's here that the oil companies will drill.
Conflict.
Rwanda is still struggling to come to terms with what happened.
And intrigue.
You don't have a defined idea of who the enemy is.
From the world's best storytellers.
From poker to Picasso.
Reporters at these times on BBC World.
Breaking the news.
Those people tried to murder babies this morning.
Two big rows have overshadowed the conference.
This is a disaster waiting to happen.
Breaking the news. Now on BBC World, Sport Today with Rob Bonnet.
Hello, I'm Rob Bonnet and this is Sport Today on BBC World. Coming up on this programme, the Champions League is back. Roma started home to last season's runners-up Real Madrid at the Olympic Stadium. Liverpool make their first appearance in Europe's Premier competition for 16 years. Can they improve on their current poor form in the English Premiership? And Daniel Vacek finds the winning touch, surprising Nicolas Kiefer at the President's Cup in Tashkent. Well, we'll start with football, and Glasgow Rangers will have to play the away leg of their first-round UEFA Cup tie in Dagestan. That's the decision of the European Games governing body UEFA, which has ordered that Thursday's match with FC Anchi Makhachkala must go ahead as planned, despite severe political unrest in the region. Dagestan capital, close to Chechnya, has been hit by several car bombs in the last few days. The immediate reaction from Ibrox has been to issue a statement in which the club vigorously contests UEFA's decision. It adds that the club is disappointed that UEFA has not accepted the seriousness of the advice which the club has received against travelling to Dagestan. That includes warnings from the British government against going there. The statement also says that the club is now appealing against this latest UEFA decision. Well, after 2 months of qualifying, the group stage of this season's Champions League gets underway later today. In Group A, Lokomotiv Moscow start at home to Anderlecht, but the big match of this opening day is undoubtedly the fixture between Roma and Real Madrid, the Italian and Spanish champions respectively. Roma are the home team today. Real, remember, won the competition 2 seasons ago and were runners-up to Bayern Munich last season, but both clubs are attempting to find the form in Europe which has eluded them in their domestic leagues, where they've both failed to register wins so far this season. Zinedine Zidane won't be turning out for Real Madrid. The world record signing has a 4-match suspension carried over from his old club Juventus. Real coach Vicente Del Bosque still has a formidable squad, though. He's keen to downplay, though, his club's record of success in the competition.
We're the winners before this match, but only historically. We won 6 cups in the old Champions League and 2 in the new one. But that means nothing for this match. We're 2 big teams who won their national championships last year, and we both have really good players.
In Group B, Borussia Dortmund start with an away game in Ukraine against Dynamo Kiev, while UEFA Cup holders Liverpool start at home to Boa Vista of Portugal. The English side will also be hoping to put their poor start to the domestic season to one side for Europe's top competition.
The spoils of a remarkable year take pride of place in Liverpool's museum at Anfield, but there's no trophy for their biggest prize last season. A third-place finish in the Premiership meant they qualified for the Champions League. Liverpool are well used to big European nights. Last May they beat the Spanish club Alaves to lift the UEFA Cup. But a first appearance in this competition against Boa Vista of Portugal guarantees a unique occasion at Anfield this evening.
There's a special night where obviously you have to surpass yourself, you have to show the best of yourself in the game. And everybody's got to be sharper, even the manager, in decision making and so on. So obviously it makes something special.
The euphoria that greeted Liverpool's historic treble last season means there are high expectations of success in the Champions League too. First, though, they have to overcome tricky opponents tonight.
I think it's a typical Portuguese side that players are individually very skillful and quick, and I've heard that their strikers are very good players. So it's going to be hard evening for us.
So tonight Anfield stages a match in Europe's elite club competition for the first time in 16 years. The priority for Liverpool is a good win over Boa Vista as they seek to qualify for the second phase of the Champions League. Damien Johnson, BBC News at Anfield.
Well, there are also matches in Groups C and D today. Arsenal travel to Mallorca for their opening game in Group C, while Schalke entertain Panathinaikos of Greece. In Group D, Nantes are at home to PSV Eindhoven, while Lazio travel to Istanbul to face Galatasaray. Well, away from football now, and South Africa have completed a 9-wicket victory over Zimbabwe in the first test in Harare. It was a double disappointment for Zimbabwe wicketkeeper Andy Flower. He fell just 1 run short of becoming only the 5th batsman ever to score a century and a double century in the same match. Flower was unbeaten on 199 when the Zimbabwe innings ended on 391. Flower's second innings performance had prevented an innings defeat, but he couldn't stop the South Africans coasting to victory. They reached their 78-run target for the loss of just 1 wicket. Tennis, Nicholas Kiefer has made a surprise exit in the first round from the ATP President's Cup in Tashkent, Uzbekistan. The 5th-seeded German, who won the tournament in 1999, was beaten in straight sets, 7-5, 6-4, by the Czech Daniel Vacek at the top of the screen here. The win was Vacek's first on the tour all year. He'd been knocked out in the first round of the 3 previous tournaments in which he'd played, but his big serve proved the decisive factor against Kiefer. Vacek will now face another German, that's Rainer Schuttler, in the second round. Well, there are still 3 races to go in a Formula One season already brought effectively to a premature end by the early championship wins of Michael Schumacher and his Ferrari team. The first of the 3 being the Italian Grand Prix this Sunday, so a party atmosphere at Monza certainly is guaranteed. For other teams, there's some soul-searching to do, though. At BAR, for instance, where the team's underperformance has been scrutinised with a view to improvement next season. That'll come, they hope, with a new car, which is scheduled for its launch in December. Driver Jacques Villeneuve is expecting much more from 2002.
Every race that goes by is 1 race less to go before the end of the season, which is great because this year has been very difficult, and all we can do now is wait and hope for a better year next year, for a better car next year. So no, it's good. The season is nearing its end. The races that are coming are fun. Monza is fun. America was always fun, and then Japan it's a beautiful track. So it's a good way to finish the season on the fun side.
On to baseball now. The St. Louis slugger Mark McGwire has set up the Cardinals for yet another victory. They trounced the Milwaukee Brewers 8-0 on the road.
Average. But baseball fans have been focusing on Barry Bonds' record-chasing home run spree this season. But the current record holder for homers in a single season, Mark McGwire, showed he's still got the touch. St. Louis were at Milwaukee, and McGuire's 2-run homer in the second set the Cardinals on their way. Half his 48 hits this season have been home runs. It was in the 4th inning that the Cardinals blew the game right open, scoring 6 runs that effectively killed off the Brewers' challenge. Jim Edmonds started the push with a single to right centre field. Then Placido Polanco scored a single with the bases loaded to push the Cardinals' lead to 7-0. The final run of the game came off a wild.
And we're getting reports of a plane crash in the World Trade Center in New York. You can see the pictures there. It's one of New York's tallest buildings. That's all the information we know at the moment, but as you can see, it is a considerable collision and there is a large fire. That's all the information we have at the moment, but we'll be back with more details in just a short while at the top of the hour.
Well, we have one final story for you. The New York Giants, last season's Super Bowl runners-up, have been beaten in their first match of the new NFL season. The Giants lost by 31 points to 20 at Denver, but the victory for the Broncos came at a price. Wide receiver Ed McCaffrey is set to miss the rest of the season after breaking his leg after making a catch in the 3rd quarter. Before his injury, McCaffrey scored the second of the Broncos' 4 touchdowns. Former Giant caught his 44th TD pass as a Denver player in the 2nd quarter to tie the Broncos team record before his horrific injury. So there we are, that's all from Sport Today. Goodbye.
death was all around. Something that you'll never forget and will always live with you.
With over 250 correspondents, we're always close to the story. BBC World.
As we come on air, we have serious news of a major possible air crash in the United States. A plane appears to have crashed into one of New York's tallest buildings, the World Trade Center. As you can see, those are pictures of smoke pouring out of a gaping hole in the upper floors of the World Trade Center. It is in the downtown area of Manhattan and is one of the most heavily populated office buildings in New York. All we know at this moment is that there has been a plane crash in the morning time in New York. The plane smashed into one of the twin towers of the New York World Trade Center about half an hour ago. That's the information that we've got. And you can see the smoke and flames billowing from the building. One eyewitness said that it was a twin-engine plane, possibly a 737, which flew straight into the World Trade Center. It's believed that some bits of the plane may still be embedded in the building. For viewers who are just joining us at the top of the hour, we're watching pictures of smoke billowing out of the World Trade Center